Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah, welcome back.
Today we're going to be talking all about New Zealand,
That's right, New Zealand.
specifically for those of you who are interested in maybe studying abroad.
Yeah, great place to study abroad.
And we're really going to hone in on scholarships too.
That's right, how to make it happen.
So like if you're listening to this and you're thinking, man, New Zealand, that'd be so cool to study there.
Yeah,
But like, I don't know how to pay for it.
right, it can be pricey.
This episode is for you.
Definitely, lots of great information here.
So we've got some info here that specifically focuses on students who are coming from Asia.
Yeah, a lot of opportunities for those students.
Like places like Bangladesh, Nepal, Vietnam, and India.
Exact.
And we're going to unpack all of that,
That's right.
all the different scholarship possibilities.
Yeah, where to look, what to do, how to get started.
So that by the time you're done listening to this episode, you have a good understanding of what's out there for you.
Exactly, what's possible for you.
So the first thing we have to talk about is the New Zealand government scholarships.
Oh, yeah, these are big ones.
These are like the big kahuna.
huge.
Right.
Mm.
When we're talking about scholarships, especially for international students.
Yeah, they're fully funded.
Fully funded. So what does that even mean?
I mean, this is the real deal. This covers your tuition.
Okay.
It covers living expenses and even travel
Wow.
to and from New Zealand.
Like you don't have to pay for your plane ticket.
Nope, they got you covered.
And a lot of times with scholarships, it's like, here's some money for school,
Right.
but you still got to figure out how to like live.
Exactly, how to survive.
But this is like, we want you to be able to focus on your studies
100%.
and not have to worry about all that other stuff.
It's a big deal.
So one of the big ones that we saw in the information is the New Zealand International Scholarships.
Yes, that's a big one.
And this is specifically for students who are coming from developing countries.
Yeah, makes a huge difference for them.
It's incredible, right?
Right.
Yes. Like we say fully funded and you kind of gloss over it.
Right, it sounds good.
But wow,
It changes lives.
it really does.
It does.
Remove so many barriers.
Yeah, it allows people to pursue their dreams
Yeah.
who otherwise wouldn't be able to.
So what all is included in something like the New Zealand International Scholarships?
So, like I said, tuition's covered,
Yeah.
airfare, so your plane tickets there and back,
Amazing.
and then a living allowance.
So you can like pay your rent and buy groceries.
Exactly, so you can actually live,
And like, go out and have fun.
enjoy the experience, yeah.
Explore New Zealand.
Exactly.
So who should be looking into these government scholarships?
So anyone who's thinking about going for their master's, their PhD, or even undergrad,
Okay, so it's pretty wide open
yeah, it really
in terms of what level of study you're at.
Yeah, it's about potential.
What's the first step?
First step is head over to the official New Zealand Government Scholarships website. That's where you're going to find all the nitty-gritty details.
The eligibility.
Yeah, what they're
I'm-
looking for.
And you can actually apply there.
Apply directly through the website.
Okay, perfect.
Super easy.
So that's like the first stop.
First stop, definitely.
Now, beyond government scholarships, there are also university-specific scholarships.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So let's say you're thinking like, okay, I'm interested in this university.
Right. You have a specific place in mind.
You can actually go to that university's website and look for scholarships there
Exactly. Lots of options there.
that are just for students who want to go to that university.
Yeah, they want to attract top talent.
And a lot of these are targeting students specifically from Asia.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if that's you, this is definitely something you want to look into.
Definitely.
So a few examples here.
Okay, let's dive in.
The University of Auckland,
Big one.
what kind of scholarships do they offer?
So they have a variety of international student scholarships.
Okay.
Some of them are for tuition fee discounts.
Okay. Which is, always helpful.
Always helpful.
And some of them actually cover your first year living expenses.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Right.
Because if you think about it, like moving to a new country,
Yeah.
there are so many upfront costs.
Exactly. Setting up a new life.
Yeah, you got to like figure out your apartment. You got to get furniture if it's not furnished.
Right. All that stuff adds up.
Groceries, all of that.
Exactly.
So that's
yeah.
a huge help.
It is. It takes the pressure off.
Now, what about Victoria University Wellington?
Okay, so they have something called the Victoria International Excellence Scholarships,
Okay.
and these can offer up to 10,000 New Zealand dollars
Wow.
towards tuition fees.
Okay, that's a significant chunk of change.
It is. It can make a big difference.
And then we also have the University of Otago,
Yeah, another great option.
and they offer undergraduate scholarships for international students.
Yeah, specifically for undergrads.
And they also have a really great financial aid office.
Yeah, they're really helpful. So if you're feeling kind of overwhelmed, like, where do I even begin?
Right. It can be, oh,
Reaching out to the financial aid office at the university that you're interested in could be
absolutely.
super helpful
They can guide you, yeah.
because they know all the ins and outs.
Exactly. They know the details.
Now, there's also a really interesting category of scholarships called New Zealand Asia specific scholarships.
Oh, yeah. These are specifically designed for students coming from Asia.
So this is where, like, if you are listening from Bangladesh, Nepal, Vietnam, India,
Yeah, this is for you.
this is where it gets really interesting.
Absolutely.
So the first one is the Asian New Zealand scholarships,
Okay, so that's for students from the Association of Southeast Asian Nations,
which includes,
countries like Vietnam and in Indonesia.
okay.
And these are typically fully funded.
Wow. Okay. So again, we're talking tuition, living expenses, and travel.
Exactly. The whole package.
That's amazing.
It is. It's a fantastic opportunity.
And what about students who are coming from South Asia?
So for those students, there's the South Asian Scholarship Program,
Okay.
and that's for students from India, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka.
Okay.
And it typically provides tuition assistance,
Okay.
and that can be used at a variety of different universities in New Zealand.
Got it. So it's not tied to just one specific school.
Exactly. You have some flexibility.
So it seems like the goal of these New Zealand Asia specific scholarships is to build stronger connections
Hmm.
between New Zealand and these regions.
Absolutely. It's about fostering relationships
Wow.
through education and cultural exchange.
And kind of creating these partnerships.
Exactly. Building bridges
Yeah.
between countries.
Now, we've talked about government scholarships, we've talked about university scholarships, but there are also scholarships from private organizations and NGOs.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget about
So
those.
these are often a little bit harder to find,
Yeah, they don't always have the same kind of publicity.
but they're out there.
They are, and they can be really valuable.
So a couple of examples that we saw in our research is the New Zealand Education Trust,
Okay. Yeah, they offer a variety of scholarships.
specifically for international students, especially from Asia.
Yeah, they're really focused on that region.
And then there's also the Asian New Zealand Foundation.
Yeah, they're great.
And they offer scholarships and funding for people who are interested in cultural exchange
Yeah, they're all about building connections.
or who want to study something related to the Asia-Pacific region.
So anything that strengthens those ties
Exactly.
between New Zealand and Asia.
So how do you even find these scholarships?
So the best way is to do some research.
Okay.
Go to the websites of organizations that you think might offer scholarships.
Okay.
Like if they have a focus on international education
Yeah.
or specifically building links between New Zealand and Asia,
Okay.
that's a good place to start.
And then there are also some general scholarship search platforms.
Yeah, websites like scholarships.com and FastWeb.
Okay, so you can just type in like New Zealand scholarships.
Exactly. See what comes up.
Now, we've talked about all these different types of scholarship,
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground.
but how do you actually apply for them?
Okay, so this is where it gets real.
Because it can be a little overwhelming.
Yeah, it can be intimidating.
We've got all these different applications, different deadlines.
Different requirements. It's a lot.
So the first step,
Okay, step one.
check the eligibility requirements.
Absolutely. This is crucial.
Because there's no point in putting all this effort into an application if you
Yeah.
don't even qualify.
Exactly. You got to make sure you're a good fit.
So make sure you meet the criteria for things like your academic background,
Yeah, your grades, your experience,
your country of citizenship, your field of study,
all of that matters. Yeah.
because they can be very specific.
Very specific. Yeah.
Okay, so once you've figured out which scholarships you're actually eligible for,
Okay, what's next?
then you need to start gathering all of your documents.
Yeah, this is the paperwork part.
And this usually includes things like your academic transcripts,
Yep, proof of your grades.
letters of recommendation,
Yeah, those are important.
and a statement of purpose.
Why you want to study in New Zealand.
And this is where you really get to tell your story
Yeah, share your passion.
and explain why you deserve this scholarship.
Exactly. Make your case.
Now, it's really important to start gathering these documents early
Oh, yeah, don't wait till the last minute,
because sometimes it can take a while.
especially those letters of recommendation.
Yeah, you got to give people time to write them.
Professors are busy. They need a heads up.
Okay, so you've got your documents. What's next?
So the next step is to actually apply.
Okay.
And most applications these days are done online.
Okay. That's good.
It's pretty convenient.
But you have to pay really close attention to the deadlines
Deadlines are key.
because if you miss the deadline,
That's it. You're out.
yeah, doesn't matter how good your application is.
Yep. Got to be on time.
So make sure you're keeping track of all those deadlines.
Stay organized.
And then the final step,
Interview.
not all scholarships require an interview,
Right? It depends.
but some of the more prestigious ones.
The fully funded ones.
They might want to chat with you.
Yeah, get to know you a little better.
So be prepared to talk about why you want to study in New Zealand,
Yeah, what are your goals?
how this program aligns with your career goals,
What do you want to do after you graduate?
and what kind of contributions you plan to make when you go back to your home country.
Yeah, how will you give back?
So it's not just about what you're going to get out of it.
Right,
It's also about what you're going to give back.
exactly. It's a two-way street.
So we've covered a lot of information today
Yeah, we have.
about all these different scholarship opportunities in New Zealand.
Lots of options out there.
And it can be a little overwhelming.
I know, it's a lot to take in.
But hopefully now you have a better understanding
Yeah, a clearer picture
of what's available.
that's possible.
And if you are serious about studying abroad in New Zealand,
Yeah, if that's your dream.
the next step is to start your research.
Absolutely. Dig in.
Go to those websites that we talked about.
The government website, the university websites.
Look at those private organizations and NGOs.
And don't be afraid to reach out for help.
Yeah, ask questions.
Those financial aid offices are there to support you.
So just to kind of leave you with a final thought,
Okay, fire away.
think about what you want to get out of this experience.
Yeah, what's your vision?
What specific skills or knowledge do you want to gain?
What will make a difference for you?
Because studying abroad,
Yeah,
it's about so much more than just getting a degree.
absolutely. It's a life-changing experience.
It's about personal growth,
Expanding your horizons,
building global connections,
meeting new people, experiencing a new culture.
and it's about coming back to your home country
Yeah,
with all of these new skills
yeah.
and this new perspective.
And making a difference.
So start dreaming
Yeah, let yourself imagine.
and start researching.
Take that first step.
And who knows, maybe you'll be studying in New Zealand soon.
It could happen.
We'll see you in the next deep dive.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.